It's your boy T-Bear Reaction Days Music Monday. About to keep going, about to continue the direct production. What had happened was, and then like I said, right now, as I got finished doing the back on NPC, looking up on NPCs, got finished doing dolls, and then some of your well-known ones at first. Now I'm going down majority of the keyboard based tools for production and samples as well too. Usually the one I would have done that today if I didn't do already was the eSonic ASR, sorry, but I did that because it was a well-known to do it. I had to do it right away though, so we want to skip over to the next one in order of the date, and this is for the Yamaha Motif ES. What had happened was, anyway, we want to hear from Dire Production, and he breaks down and throws some funny commentary about what had happened was about the Yamaha Motif ES and how it was used in the music industry, whether it was for hip hop or music, R&B, pop, or music in general. Let's get it.
This is the Motif ES.
Motif, okay.
ES stands for Expanded System. We're going to talk about this.
What's up? You got your boy Direct, aka Native Shades, reminding you to like and subscribe, because today we're going to be talking about the Yamaha Motif ES. What had happened was the Motif ES.
Oh, you pronounce it Motif.
This machine came out around 2003. And it was presented as your all-in-one keyboard workstation. You had your sampler, your sequencer, and your keyboard. You get a 16-track sequencer, very good sequencer, very easy to use. You get a pretty good sampler. You got auto slice, you got time stretch. You can pitch the sample across the keys. Very good sampler. At the time, the competition was, of course, the Triton. And a year later, it became the Phantom.
Last week.
But the ES low-key always held its own. And the reason is because of its effects. The ES shined with its effects. The effects are so dope on the ES, till today, people still use this machine for its effects. Okay. The ES had a dope delay effect. The delay effect was a sync effect where you can sync the delay to the tempo of your beat. Nice. You know what I'm saying? That's how ill it was. You can sync it to the tempo of the arpeggiator.
The Street Fighter fan of me look at anything with S doesn't number as Street Fighter, but that's no story.
I'm telling you, the effects on this unit was amazing. I mean, they even had lo-fi effects. Lo-fi, what cats is doing now?
Yep.
These people, Yamaha was future seeing. They were Back to the Future.
Wow.
They were future pacing already. They knew 17 years from now, lo-fi is going to be a thing. Chill Hop's channel is gonna be popping on.
I think it did. One of this was his weapon, though. You know, he was best with the keys.
YouTube, and they decided to give you basically a beginner's lo-fi kit. You know what I'm saying? You got in the lo-fi effects, it has a dope turntable simulation effect where you get the static, the lo-fi static that we want, the record player static. You have that effect on it. I'm telling you, not only was the effect so dope, but any sound that you played, it had a page where you can ring up and it will show you the process of what's going on with the effect, meaning like it's like educating you on where your sound is going, how it's going into the reverb, how it's connecting with the filter, and how it's leaving the keyboard. You know what I mean? It has it laid out on a page screen for you. It's like music school. I'm telling you, it's an incredible mixing and mastering tool. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much, like when you're mixing something, you want your kicks in the front. You want your snare in the middle. You might have a guitar sound to the left and your hi-hat way in the back up to the right. You know, like when you're mixing for a room or something like that. The Yamaha Motif, if you load up a drum kit in the Yamaha Motif, the sounds are pre-mixed for you already. Whoa. The kick is already in the front. The snare is already in the middle. The hi-hat is all the way in the back to the right, mixed for you already. So when you hand in your project, everyone's like, yo, man, this is incredible. You're a great engineer. You mixed this incredible. And you're like, I guess I'm pretty good. Not even realizing. I bet you a lot of people that have the machine didn't even realize a lot of the sounds are already pre-mixed, ready for you. It's already ready-made for you. The Motif ES is very low-key. It's an unassuming keyboard. You know, you got your 4 sliders there. You know, you got your ribbon. You got a couple buttons on the machine, but the sound is amazing.
Oh, shoot. I wonder about the turntable thing. I wonder, because very years ago, somebody at church had something like that. They had a little slide thing to make it like a scratching. I wonder if that was it right there, or like a lower version of that as well too. Like not the ES edition, but wow, that's awesome.
And the features on it are really great features that are easily accessible. That's one of the things. Everything is laid out very nicely and they're easy. Not a lot of menu diving. You get right to it. It's basically like having an MPC as a keyboard, pretty much, but just with great sounds and great effects. I think the Motif is one of those machines that just works. It's just intuitive and it's just works. And I think it goes with the whole Yamaha Japanese engineering. Japan always develops things to perfection. They try to develop things to perfection. There's a story like if somebody is screwing in a screw or something and the screw is tight, supervisor will come in, they'll look, they'll say, you know what, make the screw tighter. Person's like, hey man, this is as tight as the screw can go. They'll say, make it tighter. Supervisor come in next week, the screw is tighter. Supervisor looks at it and says, make it tighter. Person's like, hey, how are we gonna make it tighter? Supervisor's like, figure it out. Supervisor comes next week, they have some type of mechanism on the screw that makes it a rubber mechanism that makes it tighter. The supervisor's like, yes, this is tight.
Nice.
But make it tighter.
There you go.
The person's like, the team is pulling their hair out. Listen, we can't make this thing any more tighter. They figure out, okay, we got a rubber top on this screw that you can twist it and it makes it extremely tight. Let's add a metal tip so that it's easier to grasp. And let's make it, instead of going through so many screw motions, let's make it just one screw motion. And it tightens it as tight as can be that you'll need to put full pressure with a wrench to try to get it off. So they'll develop this thing. The supervisor will come back and they'll be like, now it's tight enough. You are all promoted. You know what I'm saying? It has a patch phrase, like a patch recall, where let's say you're playing something on the sequencer, right? You're playing a melody, and you played a dope melody, but you thought, okay, I can do better. So the next time you put on, you play you play another melody, but now this time this melody is whack. And then you're like, okay, let me try to play another one, and that one's whack. And you're like, oh, man, the one that I did before, the dope one, I wish I still had it. You have it. All you got to do is go to a patch recall, and it'll recall the first time you did that melody. It'll have the event saved. You know what I'm saying? On the Yamaha Motif ES, you have a very capable synthesizer on this machine, man, that basically lets you design your sounds quickly, intuitively, and get right to it. When the Yamaha Motif ES came out, it was about in the $2,000 range, maybe a little bit higher if you got the bigger one, probably like $2,300, $2,400. But most part, it kind of sat around the $2,000.
I expected to be more, but still,
it wasn't bad for all you was getting.
Low key, I expected more, but that's for that that's a good price. I expected like a lot more, probably the $5,000 maybe, but that's pretty cool.
At the time, it was pretty.
Maybe
those were competitive prices with other machines.
That's probably what it was. They trying to compete.
And the Triton. As far as negative things about the Motif, I've heard is the screen is kind of small. So, it's kind of like some people's like, man, I got to put on my glasses to see what's going on in there. So some people complain about the screen. All the buttons are laid out very well on the machine, and everything is very instant and quick to get to, that you don't really need to be squinting your eyes trying to see too much on that screen anyway when you kind of get the hang of the machine. So yeah, that's the Yamaha Motif ES. What had happened was, so this is your boy Direct,
Alright,
aka
cool.
Native Shades, reminding
There you have it though. That was a good little tidbit right there as well too. Definitely something I think I recognized the mechanism well too on one of those like the low version of this as well too, that somebody at church I saw had one time. He was because of that little pad thing on the left on the far left that was using to scratch and all of that. I wonder if that was it right there. But other than that, if you like my reaction, like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm wondering if this Chrono's gonna be the next one we'll check out. But either way, it's your boy T-Bird signing off. One love.